Okay, I'll get started. All right. In life, we all want to launch like a rocket, pushing towards the planets and the stars that represent our biggest goals and dreams. But even the strongest rocket cannot rise without fuel. Sometimes the hardest part is not even the dream itself, but figuring out where to find that purpose, a starting point needed to begin that journey. My name is Tyler Lee, and ever since I was an itsy bitsy spider, I always dreamed about reaching for the sun. Scientists say don't look directly at it, but I did anyways, no regrets. I grew up in the Texas Arlington area, surrounded by friends, family, and a strong sense of community. For a long time, I felt like I was undeniably, absolutely thriving. In high school, I was at the top of my class, and I felt proud of everything I'd accomplished. I was basically running the world from a desk in third period calculus class. At that point, I thought I had it all figured out. I told myself, all I need is a job, I'll be set, bold, iconic, slightly delusional as a high schooler. And honestly, life was good. Every Tuesday, without fail, my friends and I would march into our local Cinemark like we owned the place. Popcorn in hand, zero chill, and ready to consume whatever Hollywood has cooked up for that week. Tuesday was our sacred ritual, our religion, if you will. Sorry, other religions too. Then I go home, fire up my Xbox One, and proceed to live in the glorious comfort of an absolutely amazing life. We're talking about couch cushions perfectly designed for the shape of my body, controller hand, and zero responsibilities knocking on my door. It was, in word, chef's kiss. Life was simple, life was sweet, and life was entirely at full power. But here's the thing nobody tells you about comfort. It's sneaky. I didn't really have anything to strive towards, but I wasn't struggling to understand myself or my potential, and that, ironically, was exactly the problem. I was having a good life, and a good life, when it comes too easy, it has a way of quietly talking you out of a great one. Les Brown once said, "The graveyard is the richest place on earth, because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that you will never fulfill." Looking back, I realized I was limiting my own rocket. I was acting like I already arrived, when in reality, I had not even chosen a true destination yet. I had the potential, the support, and the ambition, but I hadn't fully understand how far I could really go. My rocket was filled up, fired up, engines humming, and I was just sitting on the launchpad. Then college happened, and Tyler Lee entered his era of achievement. Join an organization? Done. Get an internship? Done. Earn good grades? Done, done, and done. I was out here checking boxes like it was a competitive sport, swing slash, and honestly, I was winning. From the outside, I looked like the poster child of a student who had it all together. The only tiny, minor, completely embarrassing detail? I almost got kicked out of some clubs multiple times. Turns out entirely at full throttle with zero awareness and maximum energy is a lot for a Tuesday evening, a Wednesday, or even every day of the week. My behavior had a way of making an interest before I did. Let's just say some club officers were very familiar with my name, and not always for the good reasons, not gonna lie. But I kept pushing. I kept stacking accomplishments like a resume, a Jenga tower, if you will, praying it would not topple. And somewhere in the running, I had become so focused on achievement that I completely stopped paying attention to discovery. The excitement started to fade. The check marks stopped feeling like victories and started to feel like chores. Success no longer felt meaningful or lasting. It felt like a treadmill I couldn't figure out to turn off. Beep. Time moves fast, like embarrassingly fast. And the more I push forward, the louder a question hits the back of my head, that kind of question that doesn't care if you're busy, doesn't care if you're a packed schedule, or absolutely will not wait until the midterms, which just sucks, by the way. Beyond all these accomplishments, who I was really becoming, and what on earth was I doing? Then a club came around called the Goolsby Leadership Academy. I'll be honest with you, my first reaction was not inspirational. My first reaction was, Goolsby? Who on earth named this thing after Goolsby? I mean, come on, say it out loud. Goolsby sounds like a cartoon character. It sounds like a name of a golden retriever. But I joined anyway. And ladies and gentlemen, it's where everything changed. Because Goolsby isn't just a silly name, it is something so much deeper than I ever expected. I found myself in a cohort of young, wildly talented people from all over, not just the DFW, but all across the world. Different backgrounds, different stories, different accents, different everything. And yet, every single one of them showed up with the same thing, a genuine, burning desire to lead and to make something matter. For the first time, I got to sit in a room with leaders who actually care, people who work together to outshine each other, but to lift each other up instead. It's about the change you create in the people around you. From all this experience, which I thought it was nonsense, it turned out to be a hidden talent within my heart. People, heart to heart, one conversation at a time, something in me just click. And the wild part, it had been sitting there the whole time, buried under my ambitions in a very long list of completed to-do list items, just waiting for the right moment to wake up. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't just checking a box. I was just being changed by one thing. The Goolsby was the first class, the first experience that I can say with full confidence rewired something inside of me. It showed me for the very first time what I was actually capable of becoming. Turns out the silly name club named after a golden retriever was one worth joining all along. This is when I discovered what truly fuels my rocket. From that point on, I decided I was done building just for myself. I was building something much greater. I recently founded the Asian Business Student Association, ABSA, and let me tell you, if building a club starts building from a ground rocket, it started an organization, it felt like I'm building a gigantic spaceship, from scratch, by the way, with no instructions while also attending class and pretending to have it all together, which I do not currently. It has been one of the hardest things I have ever done, but here's the thing about hard. When it's meaningful, it does not feel like a burden, it feels like a calling, because I'm no longer just piling my own rock into the sky. I'm building a ship big enough to carry others with me, to go higher, and it changes everything. Every single day, a student walks up to me looking for help, for guidance, and for someone to simply tell them, hey, you belong here. You are special too. And every single one of those moments hits different. Because I remember being that person, that one who was thriving on the outside and quietly lost in the inside. That one who had all the check marks and none of the clarity. This is a place where students in the Asian community can walk in and finally feel seen. My hope is to build future professionals and a new generation with something extraordinary to offer to the world. This is a space where students can actually come and say, hey, I'm doing something different. If I could go back and say one thing to the Tyler Lee who I thought a good life was enough, the one buried in Xbox achievements, I would say this. The version of you that actually matters isn't the one with the trophy. It's the one who finally stopped running long enough to ask why. And when you do stop, when you ask quietly enough to actually listen, you're going to find something unexpected. You're going to find that your satisfaction was in people, in the moments that you help someone feel less alone. This is where you come alive. Tyler, and once you know about yourself, you can't unknow it. The truth will cost you your comfort, sure, but will give you something none of those achievements ever could. A reason that actually holds. Now that I have found the fuel for my rocket, it continues to move forward with purpose. I see a sky full of endless possibilities, and the best part is that I do not have to make this journey alone. I get to travel alongside the people I love, care about, and hope to lift along the way. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.